We finally got an update for Seth Rollins' injury, and it looks like it's bad news for the World Heavyweight Champion. It was first reported that WWE are no longer advertising World Champion Seth Rollins for the next few weeks of Monday Night Raw. And then it was reported that he was taken out of a few house shows over the weekend. And then we seen that Seth Rollins' next advertised date was February 12th. And the news kept getting worse and worse. WrestleVotes then said that Seth Rollins' plan for Monday Night Raw is to address his injury. And then finally, the big news came out. Seth Rollins, Fightful reported that Seth Rollins has a torn MCL and a partially torn meniscus. And PW Insider follows up by saying that Seth Rollins could return from a torn meniscus in 3 to 4 weeks if surgery is needed, but it's more likely that it will be 4 to 6 weeks just to be safe. But with all of this news, this definitely means that Seth Rollins will at least be missing the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And now, his status for WrestleMania is also up in the air. We don't know what he's going to say on Monday Night Raw, if he's going to have to relinquish the title. But what we do know is that it seems that he will definitely be able to make WrestleMania if the 4 to 6 weeks timetable is true and he can actually push and make that happen. This is extremely unfortunate news for our World Heavyweight Champion. He's finally going to have his main event for WrestleMania, but it's up in jeopardy right now. It's probably going to happen. It's likely still going to go down. But in the case that it doesn't happen or that there's any delays with his injury, here are a few ideas that WWE can do to book the World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania. 1. You have Seth Rollins cut his promo on Raw this Monday. Then you have Damian Priest cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Seth Rollins. And in this case, it's very unlikely that Priest would be the World Heavyweight Champion going into WrestleMania. So at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, you have somebody like CM Punk win the Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then if Seth Rollins is able to return in time, you can still have that match. But in this case, CM Punk will be the World Champion heading into WrestleMania and Seth as the challenger. Option number 2 is to have Drew McIntyre win the World Heavyweight Championship at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view instead. And you have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble match still. And you have Drew versus CM Punk for the title at WrestleMania. And my third and final way that I see this possibly going down is having CM Punk win the title at some point between now and WrestleMania, and having John Cena versus CM Punk for the world title at WrestleMania Night 1's main event. This is extremely unlikely. I think that John Cena will compete at WrestleMania this year, but I'm no longer certain that he is reliable enough to put on a WrestleMania main event caliber match at his stage of his career currently, because in the last few years, he doesn't seem to have the same type of energy and spark that he used to have. Super Cena is no more, but who knows, maybe putting him in the ring with CM Punk will reignite that light. They have never ever put on a bad match, nothing less than a 4-star match on pay-per-view. This is over a decade ago. They're both older now. They're both in their 40s. John Cena is almost 50 years old. So it's a very risky scenario, but it will still sell a lot of tickets. It will still be hyped up because the names sell themselves. A few days ago, John Cena posted this picture on Instagram, which indicates that his time in the WWE is coming to a near end. He even went on to say that he is trying to figure out how to close this chapter of his WWE career, that he wants to leave the WWE with his head up high, and for the audience to appreciate the effort that he has given. It's really sad to see that John Cena's career is almost over. I grew up with Super Cena, and we kind of seen it slowly coming over the years. His match quality levels have decreased a lot since 2016. The last really good, memorable John Cena match may have been the 2017 Royal Rumble match against AJ Styles, and he hasn't looked even close to the same ever since then. But you know what? We still love John Cena, and if he wanted to go for another 5, even 10 years, even though his match quality level is not as good as it used to be at all, we still love to see him. We still appreciate John Cena for what he's done. But considering this reports, I say that John Cena retires anytime in the next 3 years by WrestleMania 43. The problem is, I still want to see one more world title run out of John Cena. I want him to get that 17th world title and break that, the fake Ric Flair record, because we know Ric Flair won way more than 16 in reality. But the WWE record that they made up of 16, I want John Cena to be the one that breaks that, if not Randy Orton. And speaking of Randy Orton, he recently said that his dream match at WrestleMania is a one-on-one match against John Cena, the biggest rival of his career. It's really weird that we never got that one-on-one match between Randy Orton and John Cena at WrestleMania. We got that triple threat match at WrestleMania 24, but that isn't the same as a one-on-one match between the two. But in that same quote, Randy said that that match should be for the WWE Championship. I think it would be an interesting scenario if somehow, some way, they made it so that both men had 16 world championships at that time of this match, and that they are both fighting for that 17th world championship. How do you do that? It seems impossible, but maybe it will be a case where the title is vacant at that time, because there's no other realistic way to do that, one-on-one at least. And I know they're both old. Randy Orton still has a lot more left in the tank than John Cena, but I would still love to see that match. It could be a quick 15-minute match. Well, 15 minutes is not quick, but you get my point. I would love to see it. It's been a long time since they last went one-on-one. We were tired of it by 2014. But it's been long enough where we can see it again, especially at a WrestleMania, whether it's for a world title or retirement or no stipulation at all. But I think it would be a perfect scenario if Randy Orton is the one to retire John Cena. If not him, then the next best option would be Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes is basically the new version of John Cena. It would be a passing of the torch moment officially, and that would be a beautiful moment for Cody Rhodes. You can also have Roman Reigns do it at some point. Since Roman Reigns was the very next face of the company after John Cena, they have a lot of history together. It wouldn't do much for Roman Reigns, but it's not the worst idea. We have a new poster for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Australia, featuring Rhea Ripley. Now this is a pretty cool looking poster, and this kind of confirms to me that Rhea Ripley will be in the main event, whoever she's fighting. I guess it will be Nia Jax, but Rhea Ripley being on this poster kind of confirms that Roman Reigns versus The Rock will 100% not be happening at the Chamber, because if it were, how could you not put them on a poster? But this may mean that the Chamber pay-per-view is in jeopardy, because if Seth Rollins is going to miss as much time as was reported, then he won't be able to make the Chamber event. And we already heard the news that Roman Reigns is not scheduled to appear there. Now, anything can change between now and then, but if both world champions are not there, then that means that the Chamber match and the Rhea Ripley match are probably the only two big things that we have for that event. And this is a big stadium show, so having both world champions not involved in a show this big would be a huge blow for the fans there live. The Chamber match itself is still pretty exciting. There will most likely be two of them like there usually are, but since this is a stadium show, it still is kind of unfortunate to lose both champions. Well, let me correct myself. You didn't lose Roman. Roman just doesn't show up to work. But like I said earlier, you can have the men's Chamber match be for the World Heavyweight Championship, so that you can have at least one World Championship match at the pay-per-view in front of all of those fans. We also got news that the official start time for the Elimination Chamber is 2 a.m. Western, 5 a.m. Eastern time. For American fans, I said this before in one of my videos, but that is extremely early in the morning, and we're just going to have to suck it up, because I also said in that video that people from everywhere else in the world that watch WWE live have to wake up at weird times to watch wrestling. So we can suck it up for one show. Please stop crying about it. You don't have to watch it live. No one is forcing you. But 10 a.m. UK time, y'all got it really good. With the Royal Rumble just days away, here are some of the betting odds for both the men's and women's match. Starting with the women's, we have Becky Lynch at a plus 200, followed by Bayley at a plus 250, then Jade Cargill, Raquel Rodriguez, Bianca Belair, Nia Jax, and Asuka. Out of the top 7 women listed here, I see the winner being either Becky Lynch or Bayley and nobody else. And my number one pick, if I were to bet on this, would be Bayley. I think both women are going to be involved in the Women's World Championship matches for their brands, but I think that Bayley winning the Rumble match is a much better story for her than Becky Lynch winning. Either way, it's fine, but I think that Bayley's story would be better with that. Now, a name that is not listed here is Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné. And the Wrestling Observer newsletter recently said this: with all of the AEW rumors, nothing is certain, and many in the WWE still believe there's a shot for her to be in the Royal Rumble match. I don't think that she's going to be in that match. In fact, I don't think she is going to be in the WWE at all for the next couple of years. I think that she is definitely going to AEW. I do want her back in WWE, but it would be really nice for the AEW's women's division to have a star that big. I know Tony Khan historically isn't great at booking the women's division. You've seen what he did when Paige went there, aka Saraya, and I just don't really trust that it will be the best choice for her. I think WWE is always the safer option, and now that Triple H is in charge, that she will get the love and respect that she deserves. But only time will tell. We will see by Saturday. If she's not there, then expect her to be on AEW Dynamite any week now. Now moving on to the men's Royal Rumble match favorites, we have CM Punk at a plus 150, followed by Gunther at a plus 300, followed by Cody Rhodes at a plus 400, then LA Knight, Randy Orton, The Rock, and Drew McIntyre. Now, there is one name on the list that I see absolutely not showing up, and that is The Rock. He won't be at the Royal Rumble. He won't be in that match. If he is, then come back and call me an idiot, but there's no way The Rock is going to be in the Royal Rumble match. He does not need that in order to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I don't really think that Cody Rhodes is winning either. I already talked about this before. CM Punk is winning. That's my favorite. If he doesn't win, then it's Cody Rhodes, and that's it. Okay, those are all the news, stories, and rumors I have for you today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please follow my social media links in the description below. And you guys, stay smooth.